So with the announcement of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 coming out, we finally have a sequel to an absolute gem of a game that many haven't played. Since the sequel will be on all platforms except for Switch, but hey, never say never, many players possibly have not heard of the first game and want to at least know what they're getting into story-wise. I'm Chris from Genuine Chill, and this is Too Long Didn't Play, where I give you the rundown of a video game story so you could go into later installments not feeling lost cause maybe you don't want to play the game, but want to know the story. That's cool, especially since how Bloodlines 1 is only on PC at the moment and many console players won't have access to it. Before we officially begin, let me say, this is seriously a great game. I hope this first installment of the series will inspire you to give it a try. Alright, so let's get to it. Bloodlines begins with you picking a clan for your character. Each clan has special traits that can change how you play the game. Since I have played this game multiple times, I will be playing a clan I haven't played before, which will be the Tremere. The Tremere are the blood sorcerers of the vampire universe and aren't exactly on the best terms with all the clans. Still, they are very capable and very dangerous. So while most clans see them as enemies, they will still set that aside if they need the Tremere's help. Throughout the game, I'll be explaining the other clans as we see them, but for now, let's press new game. Our story begins with some fucking. I'm serious, look at this. We got handcuffs, underwear, clothes all over the place, and like 3 condom wrappers. During the act, your partner says they have something to show you, followed by you blacking out. You'll awaken with some bite marks and feeling like something's wrong, but things are oddly calm? This doesn't feel right.
X gon' give it to you. Fuck, wait for you to get it on your own.
My fellow kindred, my apologies for disrupting any business or interfering with prior engagements you may have had this evening.
Ah, shit. So, after getting your ass beat, you awaken in a trial in front of your peers. And by peers, I mean literally every vampire we're going to meet throughout the game. The man running the show, LaCroix, explains you have been embraced into their life without permission and your sire must be punished for it. And that punishment is final death. Not regular death, since technically vampires already died, but the final death they can experience in their life. Wait a minute, the executioner looks familiar. So with your sire dead, you are now the center of attention. LaCroix explains that without a sire, fledgling vampires like yourself are too much of a risk to keep alive, and therefore must be put to death. However, before he can give the final call, a vampire in the crowd starts causing a commotion which gets everyone riled up. Before things boil over, LaCroix announces his decision was to spare you to show he has compassion within himself. Which is kind of bullshit, but whatever. With the matter settled, LaCroix gives you the rundown. LaCroix explains how important it is to follow their laws, and in exchange for your life, he will take your service, and asks you to go to Santa Monica to find a man named Mercurio for your mission. Stepping out of the theater, a man named Smiling Jack greets you, which is your first introduction to the coolest motherfucker in the game. Not only does Jack have this rock star vibe to him, but he is voiced none other than John DiMaggio, the man who played Marcus Phoenix and Bender. I mean, come on, listen to his voice, and tell me you don't love this man already.
Oh man, we're popping a cherry here. Ah, you're gonna love this. Alright, check it out. Blood, it's your new rack of lamb, your new champagne. Blood's your new fucking heroin, kid.
Jack offers to teach you the basics of how to survive, and this is where he breaks the news to you. You are a vampire. I know, shocking, the game called Vampire the Masquerade turned you into a vampire. Jack explains your now necessary need for blood, and helps you out as you go drain your first victim. Going back, Jack explains a few more laws and things about the Masquerade. Some laws being that you cannot kill when you feed, however, if you're in a fight, draining someone in self-defense is only fair. He also explains that a lot of what we know about vampires are fiction.
Well, you can still be destroyed, but forget the books and the movies. Garlic, it's worthless. A cross? Pfft, shove it right up their ass. A steak? Only if it catches you in the heart, and then it just paralyzes you. Running water? That's no problem. I bathe. Occasionally.
However, you're not entirely invincible. Gunshots will hurt, but not kill. But if you get your head blown off by a bullet, you are down for the count. And obviously stay away from sunlight. Before Jack can explain more, all hell breaks loose, and you two decide to check out what's going on. Jack is annoyed and explains the Sabbat are now here. The Sabbat are an organization of vampires that Jack explains act as your typical movie vampires. They are brutal, ruthless, and overall, very stupid. Jack stresses the importance of hiding your nature, because there is a reason why you didn't know about any of this before your embrace. But as the conversation goes on, the Sabbat run into Mr. X, and he totally fucks them up. I mean, look at this. He summons ghost wolves to eat these two assholes and incinerates the last one before giving you a howdy bitch look and peacing out. Mr. X is known as the sheriff. Princes like LaCroix all have a sheriff, and they act as their right-hand man. We will see more of him later, but for now, just know, don't fuck with the sheriff. Finally, Jack explains some details about the Camarilla. The Camarilla is the organization, or should I even say government, you are now part of. The Camarilla enforces the Masquerade and acts as a political party to influence the Kindred population. Oh yeah, Kindred is their word for vampire? Jack doesn't seem too fond of the Camarilla, but he says he'll explain later after you form your own opinion. After this officially begins the tutorial section of the game, where we will learn the basics and get to see Jack kicking ass as we go. Finally, towards the end, we learn that this is not actually a full-on Sabbat raid, but local human gangs having a turf war. Unfortunately for the gangs, we can't leave any witnesses, so you clean up what's left of them, and Jack sends you on your way. But don't worry, we'll see him around. In Santa Monica, you have an apartment all to your own. Your computer has an email from Mercurio telling you to meet him at his place down the street. Outside of your apartment, you give a hobo the suck and walk out to see a man bleeding all over the place trying to get inside. Following the man, you find him laying on the couch bleeding out. This is none other than Mercurio. As he explains, your mission is to take his astrolite, which is basically a big ass bomb, and blow up a warehouse. The problem is, Mercurio's deal went south, and the seller ended up jumping him, taking his money, and keeping the astrolite. Mercurio says it's up to you to get back the astrolite and get some revenge for him. Oh, and if you could try to find something to ease his pain. An interesting thing Mercurio tells us is that he is actually a ghoul. Ghouls in this world are humans that drink vampire blood and get a very small portion of their powers from it, without turning into a vampire themselves. So, in a way, this is basically the best of both worlds. You get a huge buff, you get to mess around with vampires, sunlight doesn't fuck you up, and it stops the aging process. Mercurio is actually like 60 years old, and he looks damn good. Before you leave, he asks to keep this between you two, because if LaCroix finds out he fucked up, he will have Mercurio killed. Fortunately, I like Mercurio a lot, so when the time comes, we ain't gonna snitch on him. Okay, first off, let's go get Mercurio something to ease the pain. As we walk around the hospital, we are stopped by a very eager man who can't stop saying man.
Oh man! Oh man! Oh man! Jeez, oh man!
This is Nox, and Nox knows you're a vampire. Nox is a ghoul and can't keep his damn mouth shut about vampires, even with humans around.
Whoa, man! Vampires are
Nox,
real.
they can hear us, shut the fuck up.
It's awesome! Man, after that first taste of vampire
Jesus
blood,
Christ, Nox, you're gonna get us killed.
Oh, man, I'm telling you.
Anyways, Nox says he's on a secret mission for his master, and even though he can't tell you who or what, he hopes he'll see you again soon. Going into the hospital, you gotta persuade the front desk to let you in. After doing that, let's check out what's behind door number... Oh shit. This young redhead woman is dying on a hospital bed, and you have a choice to make. You can give her some of your blood, because vampire blood has healing properties, and it can save her. Or you could leave her to her fate, which you shouldn't, because if you do, I will actually find where you live and fucking stab you. After giving her some of your own blood, you dip the fuck out before anyone can see. Moving on, we see a doctor who's basically just Wooly from Super Best Friends operating on somebody. Going to that man's personal computer, we can find out he's cheating on his wife, and with that knowledge, we can extort his ass. Oh, and the pain medication is like right next to the computer, by the way. Tell him you know what's up and get that money. Hey, you know what? For being a cheating little shit, suck him up for good measure. Wait, what the fuck? You seen this? Anyways, we got the morphine and it's time to leave, but we will be back later. Our next stop is the Santa Monica Pier, where we see a crime scene has been set up, where the cops explain that a man was basically torn apart on the pier. Huh, interesting. Maybe we should look into that. But before we can, that's it for the first part of the series. Tune in for the next video, where we do a little digging into this murder, meet some beach bums, and kill some beach bums. Although, to see that, you gotta subscribe. So hit subscribe, and if you liked the video, you should like the video, because it helps me out a ton. Anyways, I'm Chris from Genuine Chill, and thank you for chilling with me as I explain this awesome, awesome game.